Hi Rosy friends, it's Julie, and today I finally get to actually make a video that I've been meaning to make for several weeks now. It's a video that was requested by one of you Rosy friends. Rachel's my name, this is the one that you requested, and it's the one that is for using Greek yogurt as a face mask. And the reason that I've waited to actually do this is that this is a mask that I don't just use on a regular basis just for, you know, to make my skin nice or something like that. This is a mask that I use when my skin is actually red and feeling uncomfortable. It's something that cools it down. It's something that I find very soothing. So I've been waiting for a moment like that where I could not only had kind of irritated skin, but that I could also have a moment to sit in front of the camera. So I thought now's the time, because it's Saturday, because I always film my videos the day before, and Saturdays I clean my house because I have a very exciting life and I have a lot of allergies to dust and pollen and some cleaning products. And when I clean, for example, the bathroom, there are a lot of cleaning products that I haven't found all natural ones that do the same job. Actually, that's the only part of the house that I can't go all natural. At least I haven't figured out how to do it yet. And my face always flares up, and I always, even though I take a shower immediately after I do that, it gets all irritated and things like that. So I thought now's the time. It's looking bad, so I will do a Greek yogurt mask and show you what that does for my skin. So to start, I will show you that my skin is actually quite red and irritated. It actually, if it looks as good as it does on the screen, it actually doesn't look nearly as bad as it does in real life. I can see myself in a mirror here and it looks beet red, but when I look in the little screen on my camera, it actually looks not too bad, so I'll have to check it out on my computer to see what it looks like there. But it is, you'll just have to trust me that it's really, really red, especially kind of in this area of the cheek, and then up into here, and then again this sort of mask area. I think that's called the butterfly pattern. I know that some people with lupus get that pattern as well. So, you know, it sounds pretty, but it doesn't feel pretty. But yeah, so I'm going to take this opportunity to apply the Greek yogurt, which is something that I thought was horrifying at first because the idea of putting dairy on my face sounds super disgusting, but it actually feels great. So I'll just get this going. And as a side note, I actually have a slight lactose intolerance, but this doesn't bother anything at all because you don't have to digest it, so it's all good. I'm just using my same little set that I always, if you've watched previous DIY mask videos of mine, then you'll see that I always use the same little kit that was in the Rosy Life kit that I sold last year. The entire idea is to take Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. I know some people prefer organic. I don't know the difference in terms of applying it to your skin. There could be a difference, it's just not something that I know or that I have observed. I just get the brand that sells the big gigantic bags. Yep, so I do get this, it's just basically plain yogurt. It's pretty thick, and you just put a super thick layer on. You leave it on for about 5 minutes, and that's it. Anything beyond 5 minutes, I find it starts to dry up, and then it feels gross, it smells gross, and it's harder to get off. So I don't want it to actually dry on my skin or dry my skin. I just want to use it for the time that it takes to cool everything down. This is still chilled. I just took it right out of the fridge, and I will apply it now. Apply this to my entire face. I just apply this to anywhere where I feel like there's redness or irritation or anything like that. And I can already feel how cooling this is. This is amazingly cooling. So I'm feeling pretty. Now it's just a matter of waiting a few minutes. I first learned about this in a rosacea forum that I follow. There are a few people there who do the exact same thing, so I've kind of fine-tuned it based on that. I used to use Baltic style yogurt instead of Greek yogurt because I really liked the texture of that, but I found the Baltic style yogurt separates a lot more quickly. It gets that like the liquid in it, the whatever that watery stuff is called, whey, I'm not sure, but it does that a lot faster. This actually seems to hold its consistency because it's so thick, so that makes it really good for this kind of thing. So yeah, I can't tell you exactly why this works. I just know that it's used quite commonly. This is not original for me. This was not my idea, and it does work really, really nicely on my skin. As long as you don't have some sort of allergy to it or something like that, it would probably be fun to try if you do have burning skin and you're not really sure what to do about it. And speaking of burning skin, it's only been about a minute and a half since I applied this, and it's got to be 5 minutes. I thought I would do, instead of just speeding through the video, a little bit of a story time from something that I learned last week that I thought would be quite interesting to other people who are affected by sun, because I know that the top trigger for rosacea is sun exposure. So I thought that it would be interesting to know this, something that I discovered last week? The week before last week, actually. Gosh, time is going by really quickly. But yeah, I was about an hour away from home, and I was at my mother's retirement party, and on my way home, I was really nicely dressed and I had makeup on and the whole shebang, and on my way home I got a flat tire and I pulled over at the side of the road, and so I called roadside assistance, and the guy came and he put my donut on my car, but I still had 50 or 60 kilometers to go at that point. I'll put what that is in miles somewhere on the screen for my American friends. But yeah, I still had quite a distance to go, and you can't go more than 50 to 60 kilometers an hour on that. I will put that on the screen as well on the donut, because you can blow the donut if you drive too fast on it. Fortunately, I was not on a major highway or anything like that. I was kind of taking the back road home because I thought it would be really nice to drive through just some pretty countryside and relax after such a big social event. And I was there with my best friend and co-author, and we were driving, and blam, there we got stuck. So then when the donut was back on the car, it took us a very, very, very long time to get home again. And in that time, the sun was just absolutely beating down, and it was about 1,000,000 degrees out that day. And I got a sunburn just in a very small section of my arm, just the section of my arm from where my sleeve was up to where my bracelets are. And I've been sunburned a lot of times before. I wear sunscreen all the time, but after a certain point you sweat, and it was really super hot, and it had been quite a long time since I'd applied it because I applied it before the party. And so as much as I take a lot of care to protect myself from the sun, I still ended up getting sunburnt just on that one patch from holding the steering wheel and being in the sun for way longer than I was expecting to. Now, that alone was something that bothered me, but once I was home and everything, over the hours that followed and into the next day for about 24 hours, I started developing really uncomfortable symptoms. They were like flu symptoms. I had a headache. I felt sick. I was so tired. I could just barely stay awake. Even after sleeping through the night, I could barely stay awake the next day. It was a real fight. It felt like I had caught a flu. And as it turns out, what I had was something called sun poisoning. And that's a real thing. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have a sun allergy, but it can mean that you are developing a sun allergy at the time. And after you get it, you need to be very, very careful, especially when exposing that exact same area of skin, because it will be super sensitized to the sun. And apparently, with enough sun, and that can be anything from 10 minutes and up, if you have very sun-sensitive skin, you can start getting those symptoms regardless of whether or not you burn. So because I know my rosy friends, a lot of you are as sensitive to the sun as I am, and that it is a trigger for your skin, I just thought I would warn you that this is something that can happen. It can come on at any time, even if you've never had it before in your life. So just if you're not protecting yourself from the sun in extreme circumstances, when you're, going to be out for quite a while, not just enough to get some vitamin D, but for quite some time, it's a really good idea to make sure that you can protect yourself, whether you just keep some sort of a little shawl or scarf or something like that in the car, so if you're driving you can just put that over your arm so that it's not getting exposed to it, or whether you are just ready to slap on the sunscreen every so often as much as you need it. So I just thought I would do that little public service announcement based on my own experience, and to talk about sun poisoning. It's worth looking up on a couple of different really reputable sites like Mayo Clinic or WebMD or one of those, just to check out what it is, because I don't recommend getting it. It was not fun for me. And I know that for me, I was actually lucky. It only lasted 24 hours. For some people, it can last for several days, and it's like having the flu and all you did was sit in the sun too long. So yeah, so a little bit of interesting thing while we're waiting for my skin to cool down from this mask. But yeah, so it looks like we've had enough time now, so I'm just gonna run and get a microfiber cloth so that I can wipe this off, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and I have my glasses back on, so I feel like I can see you again. And my face is a little irritated from having, you know, had the mask wiped off, and then I just applied my my moisturizer as well. But it is much cooler, it is a lot more comfortable, and I'm feeling a lot better about life in general. That would be all that you need to do for a Greek yogurt mask. Just put on a really thick layer, wait around 5 minutes, and then be super gentle washing it off. Wash it off with cool but not cold water, and then just follow up like with your cleanser, and then follow up with a moisturizer, just like you normally do, and you're set. So yeah, that's how I do it, and I really enjoy it, and it's especially good in the summertime for me because that's when I'm most likely to get kind of the burning cheeks for reasons other than just severe dryness. Yeah, so I hope you liked this video. I hope it was interesting to you. I hope it helped you out. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and that way I will know. And if you want to see more videos like this one, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every Sunday and most Thursdays. And other than that, I will see you next time.